Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a fishing how-to video of how to rig just some different soft plastics. Alright, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to try to set up this light so that it's easier to see, but if I can't do it, it should be alright without it. I'm going to try to set up my phone light somehow so you guys can see. Oh. That works. Alright, so the first type of soft plastic I'm going to be talking about is the Senko. This is just like, this isn't actually a Senko, this is a Strike King, just stick bait. The simplest bass bait ever. It's just basically a stick of like rubber. I forget what the material is, whatever it is, and it's just bass love it. Like there's so many ways to rig it, but I'm gonna show you guys my two favorite ways to rig the Senko. So starting off with this is called the Texas rig. It's like a weedless presentation, and it's pretty simple. All right, so first thing you're gonna do when you're rigging a Senko is you need a Texas rig hook, which is like just a normal hook, but it has this bend at the top, and that's essential for the Texas rig. So the first thing you do is you put the hook tip in like the see how there's two ends, like a pointy end and a flat end. You put the hook tip into the flat end and down like a very little bit, and then you pop it out and string the whole hook through like so, so that like the little bend part is the only part that is covered by the Senko at this point. And then what you want to do is you want to line it up where you want the hook to be. You kind of bend it where the hook would pop out right there, and you pop it in, poke it out. Wait, that's not good. A little bit further down. Poke it in, pop it out, and then you cover it again by the Senko so it's weedless. This is a great weedless presentation. The way that you would fish this is you just like cast it out by structure. You could jig it a little bit, you could just let it sit, and what I do is I just watch the line, see if it moves. Alright, I'm not sure if you guys were able to see that well, but I'm gonna try to make a better setup so the lighting's better here eventually, but this is the best I got right now. Alright, and then the next way you could rig the Senko, this is actually my favorite way because it has more action than the Texas rig. You take like a circle hook like this, which is completely different than the Texas rig hook, and you literally just hook it right in the middle, and it like just floats down and drifts down, and you use it the same way as the Texas rig. It's just not as weedless. And what other people do for this is they put O-rings on, which I have some right here, I'll get them. Like plastic rings that you can put around the Senko. And this just prevents you from having to hook the bait directly into the plastic. So so you don't lose as many lures. You don't like go through as many Senko, should I say. So it ends up looking like that. But some people say when it's like that, you have a worse hookup ratio. So what you could do instead is put two on. You put two O-rings on and cross them so that you could still rig it with the hook point facing away from the Senko instead of in line with the Senko, which I don't always fish with O-rings, but if I'm low on Senkos, I do. I don't. I think they're pretty good to use. So this is what I mean by that. You cross the O-rings right there, so that you can, like, the hook point faces out instead of in line with the Senko. I think that's the best way to do it if you're going to use O-rings, and it saves you a lot of money. Alright, the next type of bait that for soft plastics that I'm going to show you how to rig with is going to be the swim bait. This is my favorite swim bait, Keitech. Actually, the Easy Shiner is probably my favorite swim bait, but it's also a Keitech. So how are you going to rig this? You can also rig this just weedless and weightless, but what I like to do is buy these weighted swim bait hooks, so they have a little weight right there, but they're still weedless. So what you do is same thing as the Texas rig, except you got to make sure this is more lined up. You poke it out directly underneath, feed it through, and you got to be careful to not rip the tip. And then you line it up and poke it out. There you go. That's perfect. That's gonna swim perfect. That is a perfectly rigged swim bait. And another way you could rig these swim baits is just using a jig head. And this works with any soft plastics. You don't have to buy these ones. Works with any swim baits, any Senkos. This one, alright, so you want the hook point's going to be pointing at the top. So you squeeze. First, what you want to do is line up the jig head like that. Figure out where the hook point's going to come out. You put your thumb there, and you push it through to all the way up to where your thumb is, and then you want to feed it out through the little line on top. Most swim baits have that little line on top, and you want to point it out in between that line so that your swim bait swims straight. And this is good. It's a little bit more weight than the weighted Texas rig hook, so you get down deeper. I'd fish this more in salt water and also lakes that don't really have that much weeds or structure. And then last way you could do this is you could put it on the back of a chatterbait or a spinnerbait or a swim jig. I'm not going to show you with this because I'm going to show you how to do that with the trailer. You could put, this is just like a crawl imitation. You could put it on the back of a jig. Anything. You could put on a shaky head, something like that. I'm not the best largemouth bass angler, but I do fish for largemouth occasionally. So you just do this the same as the jig head. String it on. You could even cut it in half if you want a smaller presentation. But yep, you just string it on and just boom, like that. And this just gives the chatterbait a little bit more action in the back here. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about soft plastics, but soft plastics definitely my favorite lures to use for largemouth and like striped bass. This Wacky Rig Senko has caught me pretty much all of my big largemouth bass, definitely my PB, which is about 4 pounds. Swim baits have caught me like so many fish. I catch tons of different fish on them, from striped bass to pickerel to largemouth bass to bluefish, tons of different fish. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and daily vids are going to continue to be coming out, so stay tuned.